In law enforcement, we see a side of society that normal society isn't supposed to see. We see the mangled bodies. We see the mangled kids. If I was to come home and talk about a typical normal day, my family would freak out. So you internalize it. A lot of anxiety. No official diagnosis for PTSD, but I know it's there.
Struggles from my shooting kind of began from right at the beginning. And then after that, physically I heal. But then there's the mental aspect and the part of the family where she would not want me to go to work sometimes. And that struggle of having a responsibility for a job, but yet worried about your family, worrying about you. And at the same time, still trying to process, what happened and trying to be normal. And I struggled with trying to be normal all the time and not dealing with a lot of stuff.
I was addicted to drugs. I was. Not ashamed to admit it. Well, I am ashamed to admit it, but not afraid to admit it. I took pills to go to sleep, and I took pills to wake up. And it was completely justified in my mind because it was a prescription drug. I was, in essence, no different than the people I encountered on the streets.
And that's the thing in law enforcement. We see a lot of stuff that people don't see. And so to be tolerant for people outside was one of the things that I struggled with. And that led me to, bottle things up and be more agitated at little things, whereas before it wouldn't agitate me. And that was stuff that I couldn't control because I didn't know that was happening. The Vitanya program unwound that stuff because I think I was able to identify the specific needs in the brain and or physiological things that were going on that they could bring back into a baseline of normal.
Strongest thing I take now is a Tylenol. This program has changed my life. My weight is down, my mobility is back, I sleep, I feel better. I see things in a whole different way now. I'm happy. I'm not that grumpy old dude anymore. I'm happy. I enjoy getting up in the morning. I enjoy going to work.
At the time, the decision to be able to have my wife join the program was easy because they allowed for family members to go through the program. Also, at one point, she decided she was going to start losing weight throughout the program. Afterwards, she lost about 80 pounds. So I can remember about midway through the program, or it might have been after I've completed the program, being able to make decisions on the fly really quick without any hesitation. And there was a shooting call I can remember where there was multiple people shot in a parking lot of a grocery store, and I was able to make decisions on how to set up the crime scene, contain it, get units to the hospital where victims were being, and manage the scene that was really stressful and chaotic, and do it without elevating my stress level. So that was one of the big things that I noticed. I think based on today's in law enforcement and what's going on in society, I think the cumulative stress is something that I think you need to be aware of.
What I felt as stress then, they would laugh at compared to what they deal with now. It should be a tool in each officer's tool belt that they could use. It would benefit them 150%. This is an awesome program. It really is, and it's changed me so much for the better.